how important is it in science fiction to get the science correct? And what, how do your readers react if you miss the physics?
Well, J.J. Abrams doesn't seem to care. So. Red matter, black holes, whatever. I mean, I try to get the science consistent, at least within the terms of what's been established in Star Trek, as to how credible Star Trek science is. I mean, obviously a lot of it is magic box technology. Warp drive, you know, might or might not work at some point in the future.
You'll see that later.
Yeah, we'll see that later. Faster than light communications. But, I mean, there are certain rules that are established within the Star Trek universe, and those are the ones we have to pay attention to, so that even if they're not necessarily consistent with science as we understand it today, the conceit of the universe should remain internally consistent so you don't break the appearance of reality.
There is a certain segment of the readership that are scientists and engineers who will excoriate you if you get it wrong. And it has to smell right to the rest of us so that it makes some sense. Peter, David, Mike Friedman and I did a lot of backstory writing for the After Earth movie that just came out, and one of the things the script had when they handed it to us was a planet 100 light years from Earth, orbiting 2 suns. And when we were doing the backstory, I had to figure out how this planet works, so I actually contacted 2 different scientists, and I said, tell me what I need to know about how life would work on this planet. And one of the first questions was, well, what's this planet's axial tilt? And I was like, I don't know. 42 degrees. And they said, okay, I can work with that. So I made something up, and they worked with it, and we applied some good science to it. And so you have to do your homework, and like most of us, except for Dave George, math, science, it's not our forte. It's why we're writers. So we know to go to the experts and do our homework.
And actually, I gravitate toward the mathematics and the physics of things sometimes when I write. But there's a danger in going too far into that, because what you're trying to do is evoke an emotional reaction in the reader. So even if I'm writing and putting my mathematics background into things, I still need to focus on character and theme and things like that. And for me, I think Dave's right. You absolutely have to be consistent within what's been established in Star Trek. And when I introduce quote-unquote new science, I think what's more important than necessarily getting it right, coming up with something groundbreaking, is you absolutely don't want to get it wrong. You don't want something to just throw somebody right out of the story by saying, well, that's just ridiculous. You have to have some, even if it's fantastical, you have to have some justification for it. Just something where the readers can latch on and say, yeah, I'm going to go here.
Yeah, actually one of the early admonishments that I got from my first editor with Star Trek was to constantly remember that even though we think of this stuff as magical in a way, that there's a line between magic and what these people can do. So you really do need to justify that this is something that could potentially happen, and try not to exceed that